Yo, what is up guys? It's me Zachary, back bringing some more daily NBA news. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking back in, but now let's just get into everything that went down yesterday. But first, a quick word about this video sponsor, athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, soccer, no matter what the sport, you can now rock your favorite player on the back of your phone. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off your orders. Check the link in the description for more. Now though, let's just get into the video. First up in the news, LeBron James is not happy about the amount of calls that he's getting, or the amount of calls that he's not getting. As after the Cleveland Cavaliers faced the San Antonio Spurs yesterday, he said that it seems like the refs have an unfair bias that favors shooters in today's NBA, and that there is no reason that he should drive to the rim and be as physical as he is and only get to the free throw line 4 times. Take a look.
No, I mean, I think we're at a point now where we'll protect the shooter more than the driver. I mean, there's no reason I should be going to the line 4 times in a game when I drive 100 times to the paint. I'm getting hit and slapped and grabbed and whatnot. So, but we protect the shooter. That's what it's turned into. You know, chicks dig the long ball, and that's what it's about.
And it wasn't only LeBron James who was feeling this way. His teammate Tristan Thompson also echoed LeBron's thoughts, saying just because LeBron is bigger and stronger than everyone doesn't mean that he's not getting fouled.
Well, him only shooting 4 free throws, I mean, he taxed him a lot, so you know, it's up to the ref. You know, it's on them to make their calls. But you know, I think, you know, with him being, you know, so strong and athletic, just because he's bigger and stronger than everyone doesn't mean he doesn't get fouled. I think he gets fouled more than anyone in this league, and he gets hit. But I think we kind of take advantage of the fact he's 280 and he's a freight train. But if a guy gets hit, he got called a foul. But that's just my personal opinion in practice. That we see, hopefully it translates to the game, but it is what it is.
And this isn't the first time that this discussion has been brought up. Back in the 2016 NBA Finals, Tyronn Lue said pretty much the same thing when he compared the dominance of LeBron James in the paint to the dominance that Shaq had in the paint. He's the Shaq of guards and forwards. He's so strong and physical. When he goes to the basket, guys are bouncing off him. Those are still fouls, but he doesn't get the call because he's so big and so strong and so physical. Now, whenever someone complains of not getting enough calls, especially when that player is LeBron James, it's gonna cause some people to feel a certain type of way, where they're either saying it's true, there's no way you can attack the rim and be as physical as LeBron James is and not get fouled. So how is he only getting to the free throw line 4 times? Either you're thinking something like that, or you're on the other hand saying, well, look who it is complaining once again. He used to get all the calls back in the day. You couldn't lay a single finger on him without being whistled for a foul. And it's interesting because I can see what both sides mean here. And just thinking, could it be a mixture of both? Like I said, I'm sure some of you are thinking that back in the day, LeBron James used to get all of the calls. Anytime he drove to the paint, it seemed like he would end up at the free throw line. Whether or not you thought he deserved it is up to you, but the fact is he was getting more foul calls. And today the same thing is still happening as back then, when he's still being as aggressive, still trying to get into the paint, but he's not getting the same calls that he used to be getting. That's where the people will say, how can he be so physical? How can he drive so much and only get to the free throw line 4 times? It doesn't make sense. Here's the thing though, you're not gonna get into the paint and not get hit unless you're playing against the Phoenix Suns, because they don't play any defense. And that's no matter who you are, and not just for LeBron James. So it's left up to the refs to determine how much contact can occur before a foul is called. And because of how big LeBron is and how strong LeBron is, they might feel as if more contact is necessary before a foul is called, just because it's gonna take more contact to actually alter his shot as compared to someone like Stephen Curry, who has a smaller frame. So that's for people who like to play in the paint, whereas for shooters, the fact is, it's much easier to call a foul on a jump shot. If a shooter gets hit or touched while in the motion of shooting, it's going to be a foul, no matter how little the contact might be. And I guess that's why LeBron feels the way that he does, that it's easier for shooters to get calls in today's NBA as opposed to people like him. Next up in the news, upcoming NBA draft lottery pick Deandre Ayton decided to show off his athleticism on Twitter yesterday with this video. Take a look.
Hey, go get this, boy.
Hey.
He's finna clear that. I want to get this.
If you're wondering why there's so much hype around this guy coming into the NBA draft, that is why right there. At 7'1", 260 pounds, to be able to jump as high as he does is crazy. He says he has a 43.5-inch vertical, but that can't really count as a vertical test since it wasn't a vertical jump. He had a running start, and a vertical jump is when you go straight up, but even though it wasn't a vertical, it was still impressive. To have his size and his athleticism and still be comfortable to shoot the ball away from the rim to be able to put up threes, it's scary. And assuming he continues to work on his game, he is going to be a huge problem by the time he gets into the NBA. In other news, Kevin Durant was asked on his opinion on the whole Zaza Pachulia Russell Westbrook situation yesterday, and whether or not he feels like Zaza intentionally tried to hurt Russell Westbrook, which I still don't see why the media will ask the player of a teammate whether or not he thinks his teammate is dirty. What kind of answer are you expecting there? But nonetheless, they asked him, and this was his response. Take a look.
I don't think Zaza's trying to hurt anybody. He is clumsy. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot of big guys are. But I watched the tape. I've seen Nick's foot get caught up in Zaza's leg. It might have tripped him up a bit. I don't think he's trying to hurt Russ. But it did look, to the fans' view, and I'm sure to them it looked kind of like a weird play. But I slowed it down. I seen some clips and pictures everywhere that Nick's leg got caught up in Zaza's leg. So I don't think he's trying to hurt him at all. But it was an unfortunate play. I'm glad Russ didn't get hurt from it.
So Kevin Durant chalked it up to Zaza being clumsy, which I can see why. Kevin Durant knows firsthand how clumsy Zaza Pachulia can be, as Zaza was the guy that took him out not too long ago. And as for the Nick Young foot thing, a lot of you guys were commenting that down in my comment section yesterday, and after I saw those comments, I decided to take another look at the video, and another look, and another look, and another look. However, after looking at this so many times, something still seems off to me. Actually, a couple of things still seem off to me. Let me slow it down for you guys even more so I can try and show you what I mean. You can see when Nick Young's foot hits him that his knee does buckle, and I can attest to this. I did my own experiments yesterday, and it does cause your knee to buckle and you come forward a bit, just like Zaza did. However, never once did it make me fall though. And the thing about this is not only did Zaza fall, but it's like he pauses after his knee buckles to think about it before falling. And not only that, it's how he falls. When he fell with his arms forward, which is not natural. When you fall, your natural instincts are to try and brace yourself by kind of catching yourself with your hands, like Nick Young did. You see how he fell, but he tried to stop himself, or at least brace himself with his hands. And what that does is it softens the blow that the rest of your body takes. You fall, your hands hit the ground first, taking the initial impact, and then your body comes after, just like Nick Young did, and everyone else will do when they fall too. When Zaza fell though, his arms are pretty much fully extended, meaning that he allowed the full force of his fall to come down on Russell Westbrook's legs, kind of like he did a belly flop onto Russell Westbrook. It's the two-part delayed fall, and that sort of has me thinking that there could have been some underlying intentions here from Zaza Pachulia. Maybe he was using the contact from Nick Young's foot to play it off a bit. Lastly, in the news, if Donovan Mitchell wasn't one of your favorite players already, then he might become one right now, as not only is he a really good young player, but he is also proving to be a pretty good person as well. As a random fan hit him up on Twitter yesterday asking for some help to get a date. He had Donovan Mitchell for a couple of tickets to the Jazz game, and here is how Donovan Mitchell responded. First off, congrats on winning the dunk contest. Secondly, huge fan. And thirdly, can you please hook a huge fan up with 2 tickets so I can ask this girl out in my chemistry class? I'm working on it now. If not tonight, is tomorrow okay? Tomorrow or next week works perfectly. Thank you so much. I'll see what I can do. Okay, thank you so much, Donovan. You didn't need to, but oh man, you're about to make this the best date ever. Thank you so much. Gotcha, brother. Got 2 tickets for you tomorrow. Go ahead and ask her. I'm sure with his fans and his initial message, he wasn't even really expecting a message back from Donovan Mitchell. So not only to get a message back, but to actually get tickets to the Jazz game, this had to make his day. And it was a good move on Donovan Mitchell's part. However, now I know his inbox is going to be blown up with similar requests, so brace yourself, Mitchell. That wraps up all the news from yesterday though. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as like the video. I'd greatly appreciate it. But now it is question of the day time. And today's question of the day is this: do you think it's easier for shooters to get foul calls than players who drive to the rim? Let me know down in the comment section below. But now let's take a look at what you guys said in yesterday's video. And yesterday, after the whole Zaza Pachulia Russell Westbrook incident, I asked you guys, should Zaza Pachulia face some type of punishment from the league? And if so, what should that punishment be? And here's what you said: it angers me knowing that Zaza could and has injured a player, which in turn influenced the NBA. He should be suspended and fined. And should he try anything like this again, more serious action should be taken. The NBA should create a separate form of discipline for dirty plays. Fines at 50 to 100K for repeat offenses and suspension starting at 2 games to 5 to 10. It's the next day and the NBA still hasn't done anything about this. So if they don't do anything about this today, then they're not going to do anything about this. And overall, there are still people saying that it wasn't intentional on Zaza's part. He didn't intentionally try and hurt Russell Westbrook, you know, with the whole Nick Young foot thing. But then again, just watching it, I already gave you guys my analysis of it, broke it down even more, but just watching it still doesn't look natural to the human eye. So I do think something should be done, but I'm starting to get doubtful that anything will be done. Don't forget to leave your answer for today's question of the day down in the comment section below. But now we have to take a real quick look at the games from last night. As for this Cavs game in itself, yeah, the San Antonio Spurs were eventually able to pull away late to claim the 110-94 win. Cleveland once again not being able to connect on any shots from deep, 8 of 34 from beyond the arc. Aldridge with 27 points for the Spurs, while LeBron had a near triple-double of 33 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists for the Cavs. Denver has all of my respect. This is a great young team that they have out there, and I think in a couple of years they are going to be a serious problem. They already have been playing extremely well, and they don't even have Paul Millsap back yet, but it's just not their time yet, and the Rockets had to remind them of that last night by winning the game 119-114 behind James Harden dropping 41 points to go along with 8 rebounds and 7 assists. 12 wins in a row now for Houston, and they have still only lost 1 game when Harden, Capella, and Paul all play. I jinxed it. I said in yesterday's video about how the Sixers haven't lost a game since the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and then they go out and lose their next game. Yep, they had their 8-game winning streak snapped by the Washington Wizards last night, 109-94. Washington pulled away in the second quarter and never looked back, led by Bradley Beal and his 24 points and 8 assists, as well as Otto Porter Jr. and his 23. Both of these teams had to get their previous wins in overtime, with the Pelicans beating the Heat while the Bucks beat the Raptors. So it was only fitting for them to see who's the king of overtime last night, as this game also went into OT, as New Orleans rallied behind Jrue Holiday in the second half to not only force OT, but to also come away with the 123-121 win. I'm impressed, kinda. I thought this team would crumble once Cousins went down, but they have responded well. Jrue Holiday in particular has stepped up. He scored 36 last night, and the Pistons lose once again, this time to the Charlotte Hornets, 114-98. Kemba Walker and Dwight Howard both scored 17 for Charlotte. And that wraps up all the action from yesterday. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news, as well as join the quest to 200,000 subscribers, #1,000,000 in a year. Remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, that player was none other than Damian Lillard, and his 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Thank you once again for watching the video. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, I am out of here. Peace!